Hello students, welcome back. I hope you all have completed the topic on ratio and proportion without any difficulty, and also hope that you all are all doing well and are safe at home. I also wish you all a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi in advance. Have fun and enjoy the festival. Today we are going to begin with a new topic in mathematics, the topic on decimals. So let us try to understand what is decimals about. Now you have all learned numbers and understood their place value. Consider I have this number 2475. We know that the digit 5 lies in the ones place. We know that the digit 7 lies in the tens place. So as we go towards the left, the value of the place keeps increasing. These are the ones, then we have tens, then we have hundreds, and then thousands. This continues, we have 10,000, lakh, and so on. Now, have you ever thought what will happen if we continue the digits towards the right? Towards the left, we know that the place value increases. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Now, what will happen as you move towards the right? Yes, the place value will go on decreasing. Now, you will wonder what will be the place value lesser than ones. Now, to understand this, we need to know the meaning of decimal point. So, before going further towards the right, we need to put a decimal point. Okay, now supposing I put a digit here, say the digit 3. Alright, what would be its place value? The place value of this digit would be tens. Understood? Now please don't misunderstand the tens and the tenths. These are two different things. These are tens, but these are tenths. If I put another digit further here, this would be called the hundredths place. Not hundreds, but the hundredths place. And further ahead, I would have the thousandths place. Okay? So this is how the digits look. After the ones, we have a decimal point. The first digit is said to be in the tens place, the second one in the hundreds place, and the third one in the thousands place. Now let us further try to understand this, what you mean by these decimal places. Now these digits which are there are called your decimal. This is called the decimal part. The digits which are after the decimal point, they contribute to the decimal part, and these digits are the whole number part. Okay? So this is the whole number part, this is the decimal part. Now the decimal part, we count the digits, we call them decimal places. Now in this number, there are 3 decimal places. Sometimes the number may have 1 decimal place, it may have 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places. It may even go further, but in your syllabus, in the 6th standard, you all are going to learn up to 3 decimal places. So the decimal part, the number of digits are called decimal places. So how much, whatever number of digits you all have after the decimal point, those are your decimal places. Okay? So you all understood which is the whole number part, which is the decimal part. Now let us understand the decimal part a little more in detail. The first digit here, that is in the tens place, actually it is a fraction upon 10. So 3 actually is a fraction upon 10. 8 is a fraction upon 100 and 6 is a fraction upon 1000. So the numbers after the decimal point are actually all fractions. The tens are a fraction upon 10, the hundreds are a fraction upon 100, and the thousands are a fraction upon 1000. Now such fractions which have denominator 10, 100 or 1000, they are called decimal fractions. Okay, so these are all decimal fractions. Decimal fractions are fractions which have denominator 10, 100 or 1000. Now, if I want to write this in the expanded form, how would I write it? Okay, before going to the expanded form, I want to tell you all how we would read this number. This is a very important thing. This number would be read as 2475.386. Now please remember children, when you have numbers of this type, decimal numbers, you never read the decimal part as 386. Never read them together, but they are read as separate digits. So this, if I say it is 2475.386, it is wrong. The correct way of reading this is 2475.386. Similarly, if you have another number, this number has only one decimal place, it only has a digit in the tens place, I would read this number as 312.4. Another example would be, now this number has only two decimal places, 6 in the tens and 0 in the hundreds. I would read this as 275.60. So the decimal part is always read as separate digits and never read as 60 or 386. Okay? Now here one more thing you all need to understand, the number of decimal places. Look here, this number has 3 decimal places, this has 1 decimal place and this has 2 decimal places. Now we'll move to expanding a decimal number. Now how do we expand this number? First let us expand the whole number part. Now 2 is in the thousands place, so I will say 2 multiplied by 1000 because 2 is in the thousands place, plus 4 is in the hundreds place, so I will say 4 multiplied by 100. Okay, 4 is in the hundreds place, so I will say 4 multiplied by 100. Then we have the 7. 7 is in the tens place, so I will say 7 multiplied by 10, plus 5 is in the ones place, so 5 multiplied by 1. Okay, this you all must have been well used to because you all have done this in your previous classes. Now my whole number part is expanded. Now let's go to the decimal part. Plus, the first digit is in the tens place, so I will say 3 multiplied by, now I told you all tens place is a fraction upon 10. So it will be 3 multiplied by 1 upon 10. 3 multiplied by 1 upon 10. I'll continue it down here children because there's no place. Plus the second digit 8 is in the hundreds place, so it will be 8 multiplied by, since it's the hundreds place, 1 upon 100. And finally the 6 is in the thousands place, so 6 multiplied by 1 upon 1000. Okay, this is the first step of my expansion. This is the first step. Now the second step would be to open it up. 2 multiplied by 1000 is 2000. 4 multiplied by 100 is 400. 7 multiplied by 10 is 70. 5 multiplied by 1 is 5. 3 multiplied by 1 upon 10 is 3 upon 10. 8 multiplied by 1 upon 100 is 8 upon 100. Okay, I hope you all can understand this. 8 ones are 8 upon 100. 3 ones are 3. Multiply the numerators upon 10. And 6 multiplied by 1 upon 1000 will be 6 ones are 6 upon 1000. So 6 upon 1000. Okay, so now the expanded form looks like this. Now another step to add to this is, I will show you all how to express this fractions as a decimal. You say 2000 plus 400 plus 70 plus 5. Now 3 upon 10. Now 10 has got 1 0 in the denominator. Now when there is 1 0 in the denominator, how do you write the numerator in the decimal form? I will write the numerator back. The numerator is 3. The denominator is 10. 10 has 1 0. So in the numerator, I will make 1 decimal place. Okay, this will be considered as 1 decimal place and I will put a point here. Okay. So since 3 was upon 10, now 3 is going to have 1 decimal place. This is the 1 decimal place. Now since we never begin with a decimal point, we need to put a digit over here. Since there is no digit, I will put a 0. So 3 upon 10 can be written as 0.3. Look here children, 1 0 in the denominator, so 1 decimal place. Now let me write 8 upon 100 also as a decimal. I will write the numerator back. There are 2 zeros in the denominator, so I need 2 decimal places. But I have only 8 here. Now how will I create one more decimal place? I need 2 decimal places, I have only 1. Come backwards and create a decimal place by putting a 0. Okay, come backwards, put a 0 and now you can see you have got 2 decimal places. So after these 2 decimal places, you put a point. And then as I told you, you cannot begin with a decimal point. You need a digit over here. Since there is no digit, you can put 0. So 8 upon 100 is written in the decimal form as 0.08. There are 2 zeros in the denominator, so 2 decimal places. If you do not have decimal places, sufficient decimal places, put zeros. Then we have 6 upon 1000. Now 1000 has got 3 zeros. That means write the numerator 6. But now you need 3 decimal places. I have only 1. Again, come backwards, create the 3 decimal places. Put 1 0. Now we have 2 decimal places, but I need 3. I'll put 1 more 0. Okay. Now you can see I have got 3 decimal places. Only remember one thing, put the zeros backwards. Then you put a point here. Your 3 decimal places are ready. And then, since we don't begin with a decimal point, you start with a 0. So this in the decimal form can be written as 0.3, 0.08, 0.006. So this is how you will work the expanded form. Your first step will be showing this step where you multiply by 1000, 100, 10, 1, 1/10, 1 upon 100, 1 upon 1000. This is going to be your first step. This will be your second step where you open up and write your answer like this. And this will be your third step where instead of fractions upon 10, you write them as decimals. Now, if you go to exercise 5A, in question 3 of exercise 5A, you are given decimals and asked to write them in expanded form. Please follow these 3 steps when you are doing question 3 of exercise 5A. So I hope this expanded form is clear to you all how it is to be done. Once again, I am telling you children, these 3 steps need to be shown. This is the first step, this is the second step, and this is the third step. Okay, so this was some basic information that you all needed to know about decimals. Now let's move to the exercises. Exercise 5A. This is the 5th chapter in your textbook, decimals. And we are going to move to exercise 5A. The first question is very simple. You all are given number names and asked to write the decimals in figures. Now the first one is 73.84. Okay, question 1, I'll just explain to you all. The first one is 73.84. Okay, you're given the number name, you have to write in figures. Now you can write the values, the place values first. 73, so there are tens and ones. Decimal point will be there after this. 8 and 4, so there are tens and there are hundreds. How will you write the number now? 73, so 7 tens, 3 ones, 0.84. So in the tens place I have 8, 4 will come in the hundreds place. So this is how your number will look. This is 73.84. Similarly, you all do all the 6 questions in sub questions from question 1. The number name is given. You all write the number in figures. It is better to put the place values like this, children, like tens, ones, tens, hundreds, because you all will not be confused. Okay, the second question of exercise 5A, you all can skip. You all don't do the second question. We'll go to the third question. In the third question, you all are told, write each of the following decimals in expanded form. I have already shown you all just before this how to write the decimals in expanded form. I have told you all about the 3 steps. Please do all the 3 steps and understand it. Okay, if there is a 0 anywhere in between, I will show you all one example with a 0. What is to be done? Question number 3. You are writing in expanded form here. Let me take one question. Okay, I'll take the third one from here. The third one says 10.084. Okay, you have to expand 10.084. Now I prefer to put this tens, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Okay, you all can just spread out the number so that it doesn't look bad. So these are the place values. I have 1 in the tens place, 0 in the ones place, 0 in the tens, 8 in the hundreds, and 4 in the thousands place. So I'll begin. 1 multiplied by 10 plus 0 multiplied by 1 plus 0 multiplied by tens, so 1 upon 10, plus 8 multiplied by hundreds, so 1 upon 100, plus 4 multiplied by 1 upon 1000. Okay, it is always nice, children, to write the place values like this. Alright, so my first step is done. The second step is to open up. 1 tens are 10, so I will write 10 here. 1 tens are 10. Now 0 ones are going to give me 0. Okay, 0 multiplied by 1 is going to give me 0. So I will skip the 0. Again here 0 multiplied by 1/10 is going to give me 0. I'll skip that also. And I'll directly go to 8 multiplied by 1 upon 100. So plus 8 upon 100. Alright, this are going to give you answers as zeros, so skip this, okay? And finally, 4 multiplied by 1 upon 1000 will give you 4 upon 1000. Second step is done. The zeros are skipped and the other numbers are written. Third step, put them as decimals. 10 plus 8 upon 100, write 8 back here, the numerator. 2 zeros in the denominator, so you need 2 decimal places. You are short of 1 decimal place, so put a 0, put a point, begin with a 0. You don't begin with a decimal point. If there is no number, put a 0. And 4 upon 1000, you need to have 3 decimal places. So write 4, create 2 more decimal places by putting 0. Backwards, you get your 3 decimal places. Don't begin with a decimal. Alright, now moving to question number 4. In question number 4, you are given the expanded form and asked to write the decimal number. Let me take a few examples of the kind. Let us take this example. 400. I'm not solving the same sums, children. I'm taking other examples. 400 plus 8 plus 5 upon 10 plus 7 upon 100 plus 1 upon 1000. You're given the expanded form, you have to write the number. Again, first begin by putting your place value. Since hundreds is the biggest place value here, you put hundreds, tens, ones, decimal point, tens, hundreds, thousands. Okay, when you'll write this, children, as you'll keep solving the sums and keep writing this place values and then putting the numbers, you will get a proper idea of the place value of the decimals. Hundreds. Now 400 means what? It means that there is going to be a 4 in the hundreds place. tens. Now there is no number to be put in the tens place. It is 400 and then directly that is 8. So there is no digit to be put in the tens place. Now that doesn't mean you leave the tens place empty. You need to put a 0 there. 8 means 8 ones. Point. 5 tens means 5 in the tens place. 700 means 7 in the hundreds place. And 1 upon 1000 means 1 in the thousands place. So the number will look like 408.571. Let us take another example. Okay, there is 600 plus 30 plus 2 upon 10 plus 3 upon 1000. Expanded form is given. I need to write the numeral. 600 will be a 6 in the hundreds place. 30 will be a 3 in the tens place. Ones. Now there is no number to be put in the ones place, so don't leave it blank, put a 0. That is the reason why, children, I am telling you all to write this place values, because many times it happens that you all forget to put this 0 and you all just leave the number as 63 and proceed. So when you put the place values like this, you will know that since there is no digit in the ones place, I have to put a 0. Okay? 2 upon 10 means a 2 in the tens place. There is nothing upon 100, so I have to put a 0. Now because this hundreds is written, I know I have to put a 0. If it was not there, I would have skipped the 0 and my answer would be wrong. And then 3 upon 1000 means a 3 in the thousands place. So the number is 630.203. The zeros which are put here are very important, because if you write this number skipping the 0, it will be read as 63.23, which will be wrong. Okay, this mistake, many times children do this mistake because they don't put this place values, hundreds, tens, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. They don't write and they tend to make the mistake. So what I have written in black ink over here, you all can write it with a pencil and then write your answer below that. Okay, now we move to question 5 of exercise 5A. This is the last question of exercise 5A. Now here you are given, the question says, write each of the following numeral as a decimal. I won't solve the same sums. I'll take some other examples. The first example is 5, 3 upon 10. Okay, you are given this. It's a mixed number and there is a whole number and a fraction. The fraction is a fraction upon 10. You have to write this as a decimal. Now first and foremost, we'll separate these two as a whole number plus a fraction. Okay, so 5, 3 upon 10 is 5 plus 3 upon 10. Now how would you write 3 upon 10 as a decimal? It would be written as 5 plus, since there is one decimal, 1 0 in the denominator, I have to make one decimal place. So I write the numerator and I need to create one decimal place. I already have the one decimal place, so I'll put the point here. Okay, one decimal place is there. I told you all, don't begin with a decimal point. If there is no number, put a 0. So now this number becomes 5 plus 0.3. Now we will add these two and we'll see what is the answer. I have 5 here. To this I need to add 0.3. Okay. Remember children, 5 is the whole number part. 0 is also the whole number part. The 3 is in the decimal part. Now if you can look here, in the 5 I don't have any decimal part. So what we'll do, just to make our addition easier, we cannot leave this place empty. So we'll put a decimal point here also. And since there is no digit here, there is no decimal place here, just to ease our addition, not to get confused, let me put 0 there. So 5, I made it as 5.0 plus 0.3. Now let me add it. 0 plus 3 is 3, 5 plus 0 is 5. The decimal comes down as it is. So the answer is 5.3. So this number is now converted to a decimal. Let us take some more examples. I'll take another example. Here I have 7, 13 upon 100. Okay, let us separate the whole number and the decimal or the fraction part. Okay, first step, separate the whole number and the fraction part. Next step, put your decimal point based on the number of zeros. 2 zeros are there in the denominator. Write the numerator back. I need to have 2 decimal places. I have 1, count backwards, 1, 2. So 2 places are already there. My decimal point will come here. 2 zeros, 2 decimal places. Don't keep the place before the decimal point empty. If there is no digit, put a 0. So now this becomes 7 plus 0.13. Take it in the rough column. 7 is in the whole number part. Under the 7, put the 0.13. Now you can see 7 has got no decimal places. So again, to ease our addition, I will put zeros here. There are 2 decimal places over here. So here also I'll put 2 decimal places. Now both the numbers are having 2 decimal places. This is also having 2 decimal places. This is also having 2 decimal places. So it's easier to add. 0 and 3 you get 3. 0 and 1 you get 1. The decimal point comes down. 7 plus 0, 7. So the answer is 7.13. Let's take one more example. I have 83. Third example. 83, 67 upon 1000. Okay, in the third example, I am taking 83, 67 upon 1000. First step, separate the whole number plus the fraction part. Okay, I separated the whole number in the fraction part. 83 remains as it is, whole number part remains as it is. Fraction part I am going to express as a decimal. So I write the numerator back. There are 3 zeros in the denominator. Okay, write the numerator as it is and then count the number of zeros in your denominator. 3 zeros, so I need 3 places, but I have only 2 here. I need 1 more, so I will create that 1 more by putting a 0 backwards. Please don't put a 0 forward, you have to count backwards. 1, 2, if you are short, the 0 will come here, backwards. Now I got 3, I will put point here. Don't begin with a decimal point, put a 0 to start with. So 67 upon 1000 became 0.067. Once again I am telling you children, don't put 6, 7 and 0 ahead. If you are falling short of decimal places, count backwards. 1, 2, 3. If it is short, if there is no digit, put 0 but backwards. Now let's add. The whole number is 83 and the decimal is, here the whole number is 0. The decimal part is 067. Okay, now please remember children, the 83 is a whole number. It has to be in the whole number part. And here 0 is your whole number, so 0 has to be in the whole number part. Now the number 83 does not have decimal places, whereas here it is having 3 decimal places. So what I will do is, I will put 3 decimal places for 83 also, just by putting zeros. Okay, so now 83 also got 3 decimal places and 0.067 also has 3 decimal places. So once you add, you will get 760.38. Your answer will be 83.067. So this is your answer. Okay, so in this manner you can solve exercise 5A. Only question 2 from here has to be omitted. Thank you. Have a nice day.